If you've been gardening as long as I have, you've probably noticed something about your containers. Everything seems to grow at the same level. So today, I'm going to show you two different trellising techniques, completely different approaches, and the huge difference that they make. And then I'm going to show you how you can get the same effect at a fraction of the cost with only a couple of eye hooks and some wire. Now this first trellis I chose for a couple of very specific reasons. Number one, it's specifically designed to go inside the pot, not over the top as a freestanding element and not attached to the wall. It's actually designed to go inside the pot. So it had a pretty substantial base. I put the soil in, then I put the trellis, and then because I needed something that was going to go 6 feet, I chose needlepoint ivy, which each individual strand can actually go up to 10 feet. So I wanted something inexpensive and I wanted something that would completely cover it over time. These 3-ball trellises aren't the cheapest thing in the world, but I'll tell you what, I've tried the cheap ones before, similar to the lightweight tomato cages, and they just don't hold up. And I knew that if I spent the time to do this, I wanted it to last forever. So this time I went for quality. So you want to put your plant closest to the center, this center pole here. And then as it grows, just wind them around. I did buy some little twist ties just to help it because I knew that before long they tend to start going every which way, and I really wanted it to get to the top as quickly as possible. So all the help I could give it, I figured would be appreciated. So don't overlook this part early in the process. A lot of people wait too long until the plant is really bushy, but it's a lot easier to wind a young, flexible shoot than it is a hardened branch. So remember that. Train the plant early. Once you get it going, the rest of it pretty much takes care of itself. So this second example is a completely different style. I'm using the same plant, needlepoint ivy, because I want it to be able to cover fast, and I don't want it to take up a lot of room horizontally, but I need that vertical height. So this trellis is behind the planter, and it's just leaning up against the fence. This one has a boxwood in the middle, but I used the same technique of putting needlepoint ivy very close up against the edge, and then taking those long shoots and winding them up, encouraging them to stay put with just a couple of the little twist ties. So this trellis is pushed into the ground about 4 inches, but because it's leaning up against the fence, I'm not worried that it's going to tip over or come forward. I actually like the big squares, but there are cool examples online of the diagonal diamond shape, the Belgian fence style, which could easily be done with the eye hooks and the wire, if you prefer that style. So 2 different examples, 2 different effects, 2 different price points, but they both have the same effect. They make the garden more interesting, more upscale by bringing your eye upward, and it can be accomplished with needlepoint ivy, which is a very inexpensive way to go. And if you watched my propagation video, you know that I didn't even pay for these. I propagated them off of a plant I bought a long time ago. So if you only get one thing from this video, I hope it's this, that you will go around your garden and find a way to add vertical interest. Where would a trellis fit in your garden? Where do you need a focal point? And do you want to just go buy one? Or are you a DIYer and you can do it in a weekend with some eye hooks and some wire? That part is up to you and your budget. But the height, that part is non-negotiable, because without it, your garden will always be growing on one flat, level plane, and it will never have the interest that you're looking for. I hope I've given you a couple easy ideas on adding height to your containers. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.